Hello and good day to you. You're once again welcome to MES on Constructions channels. Today, we will be taking some tips on AutoCAD, basically for beginners. However, you might find it here a thing or two useful in our video. But before further ado, we sincerely appreciate that you give our videos a like or comment on what you think we can do better. And you could also share our videos if you find our content informative and educative. Thank you. Let's get straight into the video. So this is an AutoCAD version of a structural design that we once worked on. And now what I would like to touch first is when we are drawing something on AutoCAD, you might want to ensure that your geometry is perfectly straight or aligned, and to enable that you have things like you have construction lines to help you to achieve that. That's what this construction line is. So if I want to check if this line is straight now, I could easily just insert my construction lines here. Understand? So but definitely just enter. So now you have this construction lines. Now it shows that this line is perfectly straight. So in order to not get things mixed up, you might want to put this construction line on a different layer. In order to do that, what you can do, because right now it's on layer 0, you can just go here, create a new layer. You can call it construction line, and then you can give it a construction line. Okay, I already have one construction line, so I can name it construction line 2. So this construction line 2, now you can close this, then you go to construction lines 2. You can give it a different color, to separate what it is. I can give it this green or this light green here to make it look different. Then I'll now move this into the construction line 2. You understand? So when I move into the construction line, I can press escape. Once I press escape, you can see that my construction line is here. But I can also create, not just vertical construction lines. I can create, horizontal construction line. I can also create vertical construction lines. So even if I want to create vertical construction lines, I could just go here, click on the construction line, make sure that I'm on the layer of construction lines, then I'll go again to go and pick a construction line. So anything I'm doing here will come out green, because the layer color is green. So now I have a vertical construction line. So if I want to keep checking if my other lines are perfectly aligned, I could easily just take this and copy it. Instead of moving it, I'll just copy it and check this line. See, it's perfectly aligned. Check this line as well, it's perfectly aligned. You can check this line too. And on and on and on. And one thing about construction lines is that on the AutoCAD interface, it goes to infinity. You can see it goes to infinity. So you can use it to check as many drawings as are aligned on the same line as possible, as long as they are aligned on the same line. This is my drawing paper too, is aligned on the same line. Can you see? So they are aligned. What this helps is that it helps you when you are trying to create your layout, and then trying to do a batch publishing, like a batch plotting. So in order to not get things confused, you could decide to just take all these your construction lines and hide them behind your main drawing plot. So let's send them back so that we have them just on the background of our drawings, so that we won't have to confuse. But you still see them. So now that's all about construction lines and making sure that your drawings are actually perfectly straight. Now one thing to note is that when you are adding your construction lines, when you're adding your construction line, you have to make sure that you're on the auto mode, because if you're on the polar mode, the construction line may have a tendency to get at some angles that are funny, that will now make your construction lines to not perfectly align with your drawing, even if you have a very straight drawing. So you have to keep that in mind. So before you go to create your construction lines, one thing you need to make sure is that you are on auto mode, not polar mode, auto mode. So that's all about that. So now we want to try to see if we can plot this. How to plot in AutoCAD? Just go to your layout. Once you go to your layout, because this layout is already locked and set to layout is already locked, so now I've unlocked it. So what happens is that from this layout I can see all the drawings are on this interface. Now if I want to plot any of the drawings, let's say I want to plot something like this slab drawing or something, I need to set the paper. I need to do a page setup. So I have layer 1 here, because just one layer I have. So I can just decide to say, okay, let me modify this layer. So I could use any of these options here, but I think I prefer to use Microsoft Print to PDF. You could use anyone here, Microsoft Print to PDF. Then, because it gives me the option to go for A5, which is what the paper we usually use to publish. So I can use this window to navigate the exact, way I want my paper to look like, something like this. So now, if I draw this now, you see that whatever is coming out in my preview will now be this. You understand? Will now be this. So we can try to see if we can plot this and see what comes out of it. So let me okay this, because I've set the paper, I've set it. So that's okay. Close. So I want to try to plot this. Let's go here. Let's plot. So that's preview. Yeah, can you see? So now I want to plot this. Escape. So plot line object, so it's plot with plot style, plot with path space. You can adjust this as you like, So I prefer, I could just use normal, All these settings are for teeth to paper, center the plot to it, center the plot. These are very essential. Fit to paper, center the plot. Unless maybe you have something else that it's within the specification of what you want to plot, then landscape too. So let's plot this. It will ask us for a name. We can give it a name. Let's give it a name gplot. Yep. So now once the plot finishes, it usually shows up in my what do you call it, quick access. So this is gplot now. So if I check it out now, you see. So this is what has been plotted. So initially, what we're supposed to do, we're supposed to not plot the construction lines. See, we're not supposed to plot the construction lines. So what I'll go and do now is that I will go back and turn this layer off. So it's asking me about the layer because I was actually on the layer. So but I've turned the layer off. Now if I plot again, you see that the construction line is not going to be plotting. So now to plot this, what I have to do is I plot like this. So I go just like that. So I want to actually replace the former file that I used. So I just go look for it here. This was the former file that we just plotted. So I can delete this to make sure that there are no discrepancies, because I need it to replace the file. I don't want it to plot a new one. So it will say PDF already exists. Do you want to replace? And one thing to notice is that you have to have the PDF closed before you can do this, because if the PDF is still open, it won't be able to replace it. It will prompt you that it's not going to replace. So we have it here again. So let's check it out now. You see that the construction lines are gone. So I can actually rotate this. So this is what we have here. This is what we have here now. So that's all about plotting a single PDF page.